Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GGB Supplier Showcase series. As always, I'm your host, Jess Marquez, and I'm pleased to be joined again today by a familiar face, a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. That is David Bretnitz, VP of Sales for Kambi. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Jess. Happy to be back with you again.
Definitely, definitely. So the last time we talked was in the lead up to G2E. It's been a good show, as we said off air. It was very good conversations, good flow. So as we kind of look to the future now, the onus of this episode is about new, all things new. You guys have a couple things that we want to talk to you about today. And let's, with that premise, let's get it started. So you guys recently announced a new product portfolio that is kind of in addition to your existing turnkey sportsbook products. So could you kind of go through those and kind of break down, what that means for Kambi?
Yes, I think kind of as our evolution continues, here, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we've gotten is, hey, we don't need everything. We don't need the full Kambi turnkey. And so as we look to the market and really to, open up our total addressable market as a B2B supplier, we've really looked at the modularization of our service. Whether that's a native front end with Shape Games, whether that's our AI trading arm with Tesseract, whether that's Abios, who provides esports and enhanced trading and everything that goes along with that. And I think one of the most exciting things for us is what we call the Kambi Odds Feed Plus, and that's where you can take an odds feed from Kambi that might be, a full menu of sports, or maybe it's one sport, maybe it's soccer, maybe it's football, whatever that may be. That's something that you have the ability to take from Kambi.
So I want to dive a little bit deeper into Odds Feed Plus, and I kind of want to start out by getting into the nuts and bolts in terms of what differentiates it from other, kind of odds feed related products that are out there today.
Yes, I mean, there's many different options as far as, odds feeds that are in the market. I think there's maybe four big things that really separates, Kambi on that side of it. It's actively managed by our trading teams, and that has 350, individuals, that sit within that team that are managing that, providing that redundancy and that oversight. I think beyond that, the Kambi scale, there's no third party providers that we're really worried about as far as competition goes because we sit on so much data from our side of it, and all that bet data that we can take throughout Europe, that we can take from, throughout LATAM across America. I think that's a big thing for us that we can repurpose that, have a data set that is much more competitive, that's based off of, actual data versus just, something that people are scraping or kind of pulling together. I think it also, coming from Kambi, being able to provide strong and stable margins, that's a big thing for us. And I think when operators are really looking to expand their product offering, yeah, sure, they already have an odds feed, they already have some sort of an offering, but maybe they need more. Maybe they need to expand a little bit more. Maybe they need something that's going to allow them to be able to compete with the DraftKings and the FanDuels of the world. And this really opens up that, option for them. And then I think lastly, the fourth option there is just really the data independence. We're an independent supplier, so we're able to take and gather data from a bunch of different, whether it's suppliers, whether it's the data that we sit on, and be able to pass that through, to our operators, and then ultimately they can pass it on to their players. Being able to just have confidence in that and providing our own pricing, our own odds compiling. That price origination starts with Kambi, and that's even the case on the turnkey side of the business as well.
Well, that's interesting, and I think the thing that kind of comes into my mind over the course of this discussion is like I think you guys play a very interesting role in the overall sports betting landscape in the sense that I think we're at a point now in the business where I feel like we're starting to really innovate and kind of challenge the previously I guess accepted notions of like what is successful about sports betting and how can we like improve margins and kind of make the business itself just more viable for more players and kind of just evolve the sector overall. So I guess my next question with that would be what type of operators are you guys kind of trying to reach with odds feed and kind of what benefit will it bring them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I mean, obviously, we want to partner with as many as we can, but I think really the use case here is for those operators that have their own technology. They have their own trading teams. They have their own risk teams. They have the wherewithal to be able to provide those functions, yet they want to be able to just expand their offering. They want, something that's more competitive, more compelling, but they want to leverage their teams that they have already. And so, maybe they're very proficient in one sport versus the other. So they can take an odds feed from Kambi for, let's say soccer. They can take an odds feed for another sport that maybe they're not as proficient in. And so I think that's a big thing there. And I think it's also for operators that are, looking to reduce their countdowns, that want greater availability, that want or need an expanded offering, looking for, as I mentioned before, stronger margins, but they still want to maintain control of those operations. And I think that's a big thing that they need to be able to, you know, have that discretion to control some of those options.
Certainly. So I think based on that, would you say that would you say that, between the entire portfolio or just the standalone products, are there any kind of operators or players that that you aren't looking towards, or are you pretty much gearing yourself to just basically be available to any and all comers, basically? Kind of, does that make sense?
No, definitely. I mean, I think there's probably a threshold there. I mean, obviously we need operators that are going to be able to provide the infrastructure to be able to support an odds feed. So I don't want to say it's for everybody. Obviously, we want to have a conversation with everybody to see if there is a good fit there between, all of us. We don't want to provide an odds fee to somebody that can't manage it or can't maintain that aspect of it. But then I think even beyond that, if they don't have all the resources in place, and then maybe that they need, some sort of, managed services, we're able to provide that to them as well. And so I think that might even open up that addressable market for us, even a little bit more.
So speaking of new, obviously you guys have we've done a lot of new things today, but one more that, as I understand, literally was just announced today as we record this. You guys had a deal with VIP Play. Tell me a little bit about that and kind of what it symbolizes, for the company overall.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, that is our latest signing that we announced today, as you mentioned, and we're excited for that one. They're a Tennessee operator, so they're licensed already there. They were operating their own sports book with their own technology and another supplier that assisted them with some different aspects of it. But they're kind of looking for a reboot. They're looking to expand into new markets as well, and they're turning to Kambi for a trusted supplier that has a sports book that'll allow them to compete a little bit better than what they are right now. And we look forward to that expansion. I think it also goes to show too, there's a lot of times where people associate Kambi with, just the largest of operators, and that it's impossible to partner with Kambi unless you're of certain size. And it's not necessarily the case. We want startups. We want new groups looking to expand that might not be the biggest right now, but have ambitions for the future. We want those operators. We look for those hometown heroes, as we call them. And so, yeah, we're excited for that, and we're excited to support them. And hopefully, that shows our commitment to deals and opportunities of all shapes and sizes. And so, yeah, we're excited to get them live here in the very near future. They're very tech savvy on their side, so we're excited for that. They have some unique features they're going to pull together on the front end, and yeah, we really look forward to supporting them.
Certainly, certainly. Well, I just have one more quick one for you. And, anytime I ask about the future, I try to do it in such a way that kind of has kind of a narrow focus. So what I would say is if we were to hold this interview again exactly 1 year from today, what's one thing that you would have hoped to accomplish or that you personally are looking forward to over the next 12 months or so?
I think, obviously some of its ideas, and we look forward to further expanding on the modularization of the Kambi Sportsbook. And so we obviously recently signed Hard Rock. So I think that'll be our first real use case in the US on that side of it. And so when I say an idea, it's something that we've brought along and we've really built out the technology for it. Similar to our bet builder, it took us a little bit longer than some of the other ones to be able to launch that, but it's the best in the business. And so we really look at Odds Feed Plus and this modularization of the Kambi sports book, is being that next step in building the technology that can compete and that can really stand above, the industry. And so, yeah, I think a year from now, I think that's what we're really going to be looking back on is the success of that and how much we've come. I think we'll see new deals being announced on that side of it as well. And just the success that it provides, different operators. And I think the one thing you'll really see on that is who we can partner with on the modularization side of it versus who we can partner with on the turnkey side of it. I think that'll really be the testament for us going forward and really, I think how we measure success in the future.
Certainly, and that's well said as always. David, like I said, it's been great as always. Always enjoy connecting with you guys at Kambi. You've been one of our best partners over the years, and I am definitely will keep a keen eye on how things progress moving forward. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jess. Really appreciate the opportunity and the platform to be able to go out there and talk about what we're doing. So appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us for the GGB Gaming Supplier Showcase, our exclusive look at the best products and services produced by vendors for the gaming, iGaming, and sports betting industries. For more information about the GGB Supplier Showcase, contact Terry Brady at tbrady@ggbmagazine.com.